Hi friends, welcome to our home. Thank you for being here today. I had a vision of using my bottles that I've picked out over the years. Some of these are pretty old for us, and we were very fortunate to find them because they are what I think are fancier art glass bottles. Some of them could very well be Blanco. I haven't looked up anything that well. Sometimes it's very difficult to find some of these. I have shared a lot of them with you before, but I will just mention again that from as far as I know, ones that are quite textured like this and have either a bird or maybe a fish or flower, like this one over here has a very tall flower on it. They are typically identified as being designed by Wayne Husted. I believe that's how you would pronounce it, H-U-S-T-E-D. He was a Blanco employee, and there's obviously a lot more information about him on the internet that I did share at one time, one of our videos when I was showing possibly one of these orange bottles, but I also have some green pieces and a big round amber one that I had in the middle out here for a different video. And this one is really artsy and Blanco. Now, that is not the top for it. I've done some switcheroo here because I like them to look like bottles. I wish that clear one down there had been colored, but the foot is also clear. I took the top, this flat top, off of this one because it is the only one that happened to fit in here. I did end up with this piece from a broken, beautiful Genie bottle quite a few years back. This one I found in New Ulm, Minnesota at a nice antique mall down there. It was very reasonable. I think it could have been something like $22. But anyways, I just thought it would be fun to try to get some tops in them so they looked more like bottles. I mean, I didn't have to tell you that. You probably would have just assumed that these looked the way they did. This is just a lucite grape. What I mean by loose is it came loose off of a cluster. I may not even have that cluster anymore, but I had a couple of them like this, maybe more of a reddish one and an orange one. It is kind of fun to put a little bit of a different color on it. So I just was thinking that it would be fun to do something that wasn't too fall yet. I know it's August. Happy August. I hope you have been doing well. I wish you, and Norm too, wishes you a very healthy, happy August. But I just wanted to do something that was not so summery, just a little taste of some fall colors. And I did work with some owls, which you can see, we'll go look at in that shadow box over there. So what I ended up deciding to do was an owl theme out here. So I got to thinking, what should I use for candles? It'd be nice to have a set of lucite candles out here. This set happens to have copper in it. It may be hard to make that out. It's probably pretty bright. It's almost looking silvery, but it is copper. Maybe you can tell down there better. Yeah. Now, this set of owls, I don't recall where I found them, but they are vintage. They're heavy, and they've got eyes, the little plastic eyes, I assume. One of them, or a couple of them, had gotten a little worn, so I explained the last time I showed them on our dining room table that I had Norm spray these candle holders completely with a clear gloss coating from Rust-Oleum. So that helped with their eyes a little bit. This one looks about the same, but I thought they were great, and I honestly can't remember where I found those. I'd have to look and listen back to old videos. See if I can find it. That's getting to be a chore. I decided to take down the fish just to put up some owl things for you to see. I've had this for a very long time. It is real needlepoint, and someone did frame it. I did weaken and purchase that quite a few years ago on eBay. Very nicely done. And I took a fish down there and moved over one of these sea urchin starburst type wall decor pieces that I had up here with the fish. So the other fish was down here. It was difficult trying to get some of my little sets of these, I don't really know what they call this material. It's so lightweight. It's kind of almost like a foam type composite, I suppose. I just don't know what to call them. But they're probably 60s, 70s owls, and I did also have another set of these that I painted in greens, and I love them. I had a lot of fun doing that. I used to spend more time painting before I was making YouTube videos because I have the time. I've got two great big huge owls right now that I need to paint for the top of the stairs before I can show you those. So I will continue this video at the top of the stairs, and that will probably be tomorrow or the next day. I get the videos out hopefully by Sunday. Saturday I just don't have enough viewers, and that does affect your analytics if you don't get a real good jump start with your videos. So Saturday is a short time frame that there's a lot of people watching, whereas Sunday, late Sunday afternoon is better. So there are 3 nails over here, but again, they were too close together to put the other owl plaque up with anything else. I tried all kinds of things, but it just didn't work out. So I only have 2 things here, and this is one of my favorite little CREWELs that I purchased many, many years ago when I decided I wanted to do an owl theme in our green bedroom. So that's another set. I don't know if I have 2 sets of those. I can't recall, but see, my brother did have some, so he gifted to my collection a long time ago. So let's go see what's on the door. On our front door, I decided to put something that I don't think I've shown you yet. It's been in the owl bedroom for about a year now. We were over in South Minneapolis. I believe it's near Minnehaha Falls area. But there are several shops. They tend to be open only on the weekends. So we rarely manage to get over there. But there is a very nice shop called Vintage Turquoise, and they are loaded with mid-century things and a lot of Pyrex, which is what they kind of are known for. But we were there first, and I'm sure I purchased something that had to do with the kitchen. But then we walked across the street, same side, and there's a little shop that's a house, and I don't recall the name of it, but she had this cute owl that I looked up on the internet. I found one very similar. They are saying it is 70s wall decor that is raffia, wicker, and rattan. They named all three things. I don't know if that's accurate or not. So the eyes are wooden, of course, and I was wondering if they would come out easily enough, but they are attached with a thread through them horizontally, kind of like a button effect. So I'm not going to mess with that, but you know, I really would have liked this in a rusty color, you know, muted orange rather than this natural color. I'm just not so into that natural beige color. I like things more colorful. So if I had Norm spray paint this, he's very, very good at covering up things like the eyes before he spray paints things, but that could be a challenge, and I would just repaint the eyes black again. But for now, I'm showing you the way I bought it. It was very reasonable. It might have been $8. I'm just not remembering. I'd have to look way back on some old videos to try to find it. So I like it a lot. I hope you do too. This is really a fun embroidery type owl. And believe it or not, I just printed that out. I had the photograph in a file folder full of art, owl art, and every other kind of art that I think is vintage, that I wanted to save pictures from. People sell things on the internet, and I crop them down to get to just the basic needlework piece, and often I can get the frame out of there, out of that picture, but then I blow it up, and we have, like I said, a very, very nice printer, so I can work with even the tint to make it warmer, or you can go black and white, of course, anything like that. But I probably used a sharpening feature to sharpen it a little bit. I mean, look how real that looks. You probably would not have realized that I just printed this out. If I showed it to you up close like this, you just would assume that that is the real McCoy. But no, it didn't cost me anything but some ink and a little sheet of paper. Now, we do buy quality paper for photo printing, and I don't like glossy. I used to do a lot of these things with gloss because it just seemed like things turned out really deep looking. But in a case like that, I don't need anything like that. And the glass for this nice frame is behind the picture, so it's nice and solid. There are other pictures behind it too that I've used before, so it looks much nicer being matte and no glass on it. No glare. Isn't that great? That works really well. So I still have that fun sun mirror up there. So let's check out what I decided to bring down from my bedroom and from kitchen salt and pepper sets too. The theme that I've got going in the dining room and kitchen for my next videos is fall theme also. But I decided to keep it late summer because I didn't want to use leaves and I didn't want to use pumpkins yet. So I'm using pheasants and all kinds of critters and keeping it in golden tones. That's what I'm trying to do. It's working out pretty good. So the 4 little owls in the bottom here, I don't know that I've ever shared those with you. I found that whole set somewhere, and it was a bit of a splurge for me. I believe I found it in an antique mall, but I can't remember that either. The 2 cutesies in the middle are stamped on the bottom with a little very faint red delicate looking stamp, and I looked it up on the internet just now, and it says it is a 1950s Nippon Japan piece. I got it at, I think, the state fairgrounds. A gentleman knew that I was looking at it, so he was wheeling and dealing with me, and I think he went down to $7. Well, that was quite a few years ago before I was making YouTube videos. So you've seen these in my kitchen videos with my salt and pepper shakers. They are Japan also. And this one I believe is older, and I found it last year, but this one is newer. I still thought it was very cute. And neither one are a salt or pepper, they are just figurines. And this, you know, is another typical, I think they're Japan also. So I have one on each side of that. There's a lot of pieces that went with these. Mugs, I think. Yeah, a lot of pieces were made. I should pick it up and see what we can see, if there's anything. Nope, see, just Japan. But I'm sure you've seen them around because they are common. And I found that cute little yellow set many years ago before I was making videos. This I found at the Goodwill. It is a vase, and I believe I found it last year. I did have it in some maybe Halloween video last year. It's very fun that it's a vase. I didn't put fall foliage in there. I could have, but I just wanted to keep it not quite so fall-like right now. But I can't find any identification on it. I just thought it was really, really neat. Just not marked, but really well done. And I glued those glass eyes on it. Aren't they crazy? You knew I have been talking about gluing glass eyes on cats and owls. I did explain that I ordered on Amazon a whole bunch of glass eyes that people use for crafts. It was pretty reasonable. I did share those last year, that they are Czechoslovakian, and I forget where I found them, but I thought they were really fun. So I did maybe pay up a little for those. Nothing drastic, but I like them. And these I also found too. Not sure where. I could have thrifted them, and they are newer. But I still like them, and I just picked up another set last week in a different color. I forget what the color is. Fairly neutral. But I still like the mold, and I plan to do something to embellish them. I don't mean glass eyes, but they're kind of plain to me, so I may paint the talons, I may paint the beak and talons to match. I may do something with the feathers around their eyes. We'll see. But I don't find a whole lot of time to do that type of thing. I didn't end up picking one of these up to check out what it says. You see, it does say Japan. So, you know, these are older. Kind of cutesy, but I like them. So, I hope you like that for just a late summer look. And I added an owl, metal owl plaque up there. I'll show you that. Here's that fun little copper looking, it's not real copper, but they've highlighted it with copper paint. I found it many years ago. I believe I thrifted it, and I've had it upstairs over the long hall mirror, and I do have owl things around that mirror, which I will be showing you. But I've had it there for so many years, and I decided it would be nicer to put a clock, vintage clock, up over that long mirror now. I like it better, and this can be just used for a fall accent here and there if I want. I've shown it to you possibly on our front door before, so it is not new to some of you, but I think it's very cute, and I did try to find it on the internet today, and I just don't see it anywhere. So I can't tell you anything about it. It may not even be old, but I like it. I've had it for quite a few years, as I said. Upstairs here on one of my favorite old shelves, I love to change up everything here, as you've seen in many of our videos now. I've gone to a bit of a mix here because I don't have that many Amberina pieces that will work on this shelf, and I probably don't have that many amber ones either. So I mixed them together because this is all part of our decor for this month, and possibly, I don't know what I'll do for September. But it's because downstairs I mentioned that I was using a lot of gold and vintage Japan pottery pieces and dishes and things, so, and pheasants, a lot of pheasants, because my brother gave me a lot of pheasants that he had collected, and I had collected a few small things too, like salt and peppers. So that's why I decided to just use this up here. I don't have enough little critters in salt and peppers or things like that to put that many things up here, and also try to make use of the little shelves in the dining room. So I pretty much enjoy having the glass up here, and again, not having the little white doily strips that I had cut to go on these shelves in case I was putting ceramic pieces up here where you would see the bottoms of them from downstairs when you look up here. That's not that nice looking, but it's wonderful with these little glass things that you can get some light through it. So that is one of my favorite, is the biggest piece up here. I was so thrilled to find that in an antique mall. And I had mentioned when I told you that I had this one with eagle on it, that I had also gotten it earlier in Amberina. I think there might even be a turquoise one. I think I have one that's turquoise. But I also just love this owl. So it's nice to have at least 2 owls up here to carry on the owl theme. So that is some of what I've put out at the top of the stairs here. And I did switch up the clock again. I'm always moving them around, but it can often be because of what I decide to put on the wall behind me to continue with the theme that I've chosen. Isn't it crazy how when I have this top light on that you get such a shadow of the shelf on this wall? At the top of the stairs here, I decided to take out something else that I don't believe I've shared with you yet. It's this extremely heavy owl plaque. This was also in my brother's house. He had a lot of plaques, vintage plaques in his office. Very fun, and a lot of them were owls. I decided to use just the camera light on this huge, heavy plaster, I believe, owl pair. It is a very shiny finish on it. It's very cool. I've not gotten around to hanging it up in my bedroom where all the owl things are. It is, well, for one thing, it's very big, like I said, but it's gray and white, and most of the items I have in there are more fall colors. And I don't know if I want to use it there anywhere yet. Probably not going to. But I still wanted to share it with you. I think it's very cool, and Norm really likes it too. So neat. Very good condition. The eyes are nice and shiny. I don't know if I actually did have Norm spray paint this with the clear coating. I may have. You know, I'm known for asking him to do that. But it does help shine up the eyes better if they've gotten worn. I just don't think I did that. I hope you enjoyed seeing that. It's something very different that I have not shared before. And it is more fun, of course, to see the votives lit when I don't have a lot of light up here. The bright light in the ceiling does not help for showing those at all. So that is a really unique piece, and I'm very happy to have it. So these are more that I have found over the years. I think that I end up thrifting an awful lot of them. This one is fairly small, but I still think he's very cute. I do seem to have a handful of owls that just have real black eyes, so I try to put them together in a little grouping. Not so much today, but this is another one that just has black eyes, and again, that white one really stands out on a good-sized shelf I have in my owl bedroom. I will share that bedroom again sometime if I ever get some more things figured out in there. I just keep putting it on the back burner. Now this one that I thrifted was fairly simple. I see he has a little flea bite on his nose, his beak, that I did not fix. But I decided to put these crazy glass eyes in him. Typically you would have them with the black pupil going up and down rather than back and forth like this, but they tend to look more like cat eyes when you do that. So I thought this was funny, and Norm agreed. It makes him look a little sleepy. I had this package, as I've mentioned, from Amazon, and it had many different sizes of glass eyes in it. It was a real variety of colors and sizes. So that's how I've managed to find ones to fit some of these plainer owls. Now, the one with the black eyes, I would not bother doing anything with. He looks a little spooky to me. So I like him for Halloween with the other black-eyed owls we have. Now, this is another candle ring that I found at the Pink Squirrel last year in the fall. It is so funny. I just noticed when I took it out today that it actually has what looks like pea pods. I don't know, that is odd why you would have pea pods, but you'll see more on the other one over there. But I love to cut them in half because I just don't use big pillar candles much in our decor or light them. Battery ones aren't exciting. I've got some very nice pillar candle holders that I like that are vintage, but when you put one of these around them and it's sitting up on a pillar, then it just kind of covers up a lot of your nice holder, which I prefer to show that off. So I don't use them, and I get way more fun out of putting them on a flat surface like this in between your ceramic pieces. See, there's some more funny looking pods, and it could be part of some flower that I sure don't know about. I did just purchase this very fun, I believe 60s, maybe it could be 70s, but it's a Japan stoneware, I would think. Pottery. Well, yeah, it's got to be something that's heat proof, because somebody did put either incense in there or candles, because when I soaked it, the water turned brown, and I didn't even think to look inside his head. Sure enough, there was a whole coating of what appeared to me to be like incense debris. I don't know. It wasn't black. It was brown. So incense would be funny. He'd be smoking a lot, wouldn't he? So that was very recent purchase from Antiques Downtown. Yeah, Elk River. So we had a lot of fun there a couple weeks ago. I love that. I used to have 2 of them when we were first married, but that was a long time ago. Don't have them anymore. I think I actually sold them on eBay. So I got nostalgic and wanted to purchase this. I think it was $12, so yes, that was a little bit of a splurge for me. I was upstairs. I was waiting for Norm to come upstairs to show it to him, and a gentleman said, "Hi, aren't you the ones that have a YouTube channel?" And I said, "Yes." And Norm heard him too, and he said, "Yeah, I thought so." And it was very, very fun to get to know. It was Paul Weber. So I did tell him I would be sure to say hi to him again in our next video. So that's what I was holding on to when he happened to notice. We had a very good time chatting about the things that he likes and what we like too, of course. But it's very kind of him to be watching us, and we thank you so much, Paul. Hope to run into you again. This was a purchase last year. This person that's making them only is making them in white. So she had maybe 3 styles that she was selling there. That Salvage Sisters in Waite Park, Minnesota is like a suburb of St. Cloud. They sell other new merchandise too, not just vintage items. But I find a lot of really wonderful vintage things there. and priced wonderful. Very inexpensive. But this was a new craft, so it was not like what you'd consider a deal. But I thought it was just beautiful, and I have shared it with you before. On this side of the stairwell, I admit I really did struggle trying to find some things that would be a richer fall color. So I did work with some of my owls again. I do love the owls, and I know a lot of you do too. So I'm trying to show a couple of things that I don't know if I've shown yet. Mainly this crazy wild colored stitchery. So let's go look. Maybe at that first. I am not big on that rich blue sky. The water isn't as blue, but boy, they made that sky in such a dark blue. But I couldn't resist this because somebody made it. I assume, you know, a crafter, rather than it being mass-produced. I've never run across one of these before. It is, if you are figuring that out easily enough, it's a reflection in the water, which I think would have been nicer, don't you, to be in more muted tones in the water? Softer. Probably, you know, a little more pastel-y. Then that would have looked more like water to me, because water's got a lot of reflection on it. But I still really admired it, and I cannot understand why I just can't picture where I found this. All I'm remembering is seeing a piece of tape on the top of the frame, like masking tape, and $4 written on it, which I thought was a steal. So I love it, and it's just fun to show you something that is definitely fall. As I have been saying, I was trying not to put a lot of leaves or pumpkins around right now. Over here, I started out with some art glass or pressed glass, candy dishes, or in that case, a little vase. And I had a candy dish up there, which I decided to put down below on the table instead. And I just felt like it was kind of plain. I was searching around for little fall candle ring pieces that I often have put alongside of the glass pieces like this on this shelf here. That helps with the glass so it doesn't look so plain. But I really didn't run across any right now that I thought would work. This guy's kind of spooky looking, isn't he? He doesn't look as good sitting on a table because he really is looking down. Oh, that works better, doesn't it? He is a vase. I thought it was really a fun, I believe it's a hobbyist piece, but I might be wrong about that too. Sometimes you can't really tell. And these two adorable owls I found quite a long time ago. And I don't remember where, but he's got acorns on his wing there and leaves. They're definitely fall. And this one's got a sunflower and leaves. And I did not embellish their eyes. That's the way they were. So cute. There's no identification on them. They're pretty cute. I've shown this candy dish. I've had it for many, many years. Very nice daisy and button pattern. This is new, and I don't recall where I found that either. But it sure is a fun piece. It's much taller and got leaves and strawberries. Yep. I think it's more evident down there. So I've had these two for a long time. They're very small. I just love them. The Rose Lane Pottery Company is well known for some of these really beautiful owls that have very nice eyes in them. Very sweet. So I adore those two cutesy ones. And this could be a, yeah, I don't know if that's Blanco or not. I did look it up once and was quite surprised. I thrifted it. So I really like that too. This, I don't know either who made this. I could try to put a note in the video if I can find it on the internet. It is a darker piece because it's such thick glass. It's very heavy. So I did decide to put a little battery tea light in there to try to help light it up and give it a little more fun atmosphere. These books are just beautiful. Everybody knows Reader's Digest, but I found those other two beautiful books. They have gorgeous gold writing on the front of them, not just the binding. So they're extra fancy. And I thrifted those too, quite a few years ago. This is the other Rose Lane owl. I wish he wasn't looking down, but I wanted him to look a little bit more like a baby. This huge wooden one, I am just thrilled to have. It was my brother's, and he wanted me to take that. Just before he passed away, he said, I know you love owls, but you haven't taken that great big one. And I said, well, I felt guilty. I didn't want to take it away from you. And he said, no, I want you to take it. So I said, wow, thank you so much. He's just got beautiful staining on him. I did share him, I believe, in a Halloween video probably a couple years ago. Norm loves this caramel slag. So that is a very lovely taper candle holder. Very pretty. But I thrifted a couple of these. Didn't use the other one right now, but these were from, I believe, the Pink Squirrel when I picked up quite a few plastic candle rings, and I even did this summer too, some summery ones like roses. One of them was red, white, and blue. So I haven't used those yet, but they are like $1.49 for their candle rings there, or $1.99. There's just crazy inexpensive pieces, and I'm thrilled when I find them because that's my favorite kind of foliage, is the old plastic made in Hong Kong, typically, candle rings. So that is what's down there, but I had one more thing up here that we purchased in Hopkins, Minnesota, at least a year ago. Is brass and copper and wood. I don't know who made this, but it is really tall, and I had to find things that would work on 3 nails that were here. So this picture covers up 2 nails, so that worked out well. I do like being able to change things around up here for the themes, like I mentioned. So that nail was very, very high up there for the clocks that I've had shown up there. So it worked very well. The top of this tree, pretty much, I'd say about the third of the top there is where the nail ring is. So it did work out very well to fill up that space. This is a very skinny little end wall next to our linen closet. So I've only had one nail here, and sometimes I would have a little vintage mirror there because I didn't have that many things that would work when you open the door. You don't want to have anything sticking out. Like an owl plaque probably would work there, but I thought you would enjoy seeing this again. I have shared it over the years. It is just adorable. Such a small little crafter's kit, I would assume, and it's always just been so sweet to me with the puffy little yarn clusters there representing leaves, of course, little knots down below. So I suppose this would be considered CREWEL, I guess. Like I said, I'm not an expert on that, but I love that little picture. I did thrift it. It's been many years since I shared this section of our upper stairwell where we have had a long mirror, a frameless mirror. It was beveled on the edges, but it did have some ugly metal clips all around it. We had it from our other house, so just think, we've had it hanging here in the hallway for 35 years. But this past spring, we were, I think, in Wisconsin, wandering around from one antique shop to another, and we came across a thrift store, a very nice thrift store, but it had mostly new merchandise in it. So we didn't know that, but we went in there and spotted this very skinny mirror with a beautiful gold frame on it. Plain, but still very nice. You would not believe how long I searched a year ago trying to find a hall, narrow, tall mirror to go here because the other one was just too wide. I didn't like it, and it was really crowding the things that I was trying to squeeze on the wall over here. I had an abundance of fun vintage owl things, so I decided, since this was my green owl bedroom over there, that it would be just as fun to have some of it flow out here into the hallway. And I've got quite a few sets of owls, not like this fancy set, but the foam ones like I just showed you downstairs. And this set here, I believe it's left in. I don't know that it had any stickers inside of it, but I think we looked it up one time. I did share the last time I showed you these that I had embellished the talons and I think the leaves and the beak with metallic gold. It is a little hard to see that right now. Maybe if I put the light on, you could see that. Yep, it's easier to see it now. So they are very shiny compared to your foam carved looking ones. I'll turn the light back out. But this set here I bought on eBay many years ago. I think even maybe before I started making YouTube videos. So it seems like it could be a seasonal set, because that one over there has leaves on it. And this one is also an evergreen tree. I really like them. They were all in a dark brown wooden frame, nothing fancy. I think they needed a freshening up. So Norm spray painted them in 2 different colors for me because those colors matched our nightstands. Well, I never got them hung up in the bedroom. It kind of is a lot of work when you're doing small things and you're trying to line them up, and they didn't seem to work anywhere to have all four together. So I just have had them sitting around in a drawer for a long time, but I can't tell you how thrilled I am to finally have found a very narrow mirror compared to everything that I was finding out there on Amazon. They were all even bigger than the one we had here. So that was very thrilling, and it was so cheap in this secondhand store. So I did move this clock from up over the big metal shelf at the top of the stairs that had all the glass pieces on it. I had this one up over there, but I decided I liked this one over here the best. I know I've been moving them around, but that's typical. I'm pretty happy with it, instead of continuing to have that little coppery metal owl plaque up here, which I've had up here now for, I don't know, could be 5 years already. So that's a nice change to me. I love the gold on it, especially now that we have a gold framed mirror. So I still have room down here if I wanted to do another small pair of owl plaques. I just might do that. So I hope you like these. I know I did share them with you before, but we probably have some new viewers that have not had a chance to see every one of our videos yet, and that's going to be typical that I'm showing things again that I've shown in the past 4 years now that we've been on YouTube. Boy, time flies. So we thank you all so much for viewing this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward to fall like I am. Yes, I like the cooler weather, but we really have been blessed with not too many 90-some degrees here this year. We've had rain real frequent, just enough to keep everything green. We haven't had to water. We are just very, very blessed. So it's okay, you know, I mean, it was a very hot week a couple of weeks ago, but it's back down to the 70s again, so we are just thrilled. Yep. But I just love fall, and so does Norm. I think it's the colors that we are crazy about. Very warm colors. That's just our taste. So thank you, friends, and we'll see you again soon. I hope you are blessed with a very lovely August. Thank you so much for your wonderful comments. We love you for that. Appreciate you so much. Bye for now.